What happened to Pablo Escobar's $10 billion abandoned mansions? Who hasn't heard about the infamous drug cartel leader Pablo Escobar? During his time, the Colombian government wanted him to stop his kingpin activities so they could salvage their country's name. But now, due to his notorious cartel stories and escapes from the police, the Colombians are secretly proud that the mastermind criminal was a citizen of their country. Pablo Escobar was a Colombian drug lord and narco-terrorist who was the founder and leader of the Medellin cartel. He was one of the most notorious drug kingpins in the world and became one of the wealthiest criminals in history. Escobar was responsible for the smuggling and distribution of cocaine, and he was also involved in many other illegal activities, including money laundering, extortion, kidnapping, and murder. He was a ruthless and violent man feared by many, but he also had a generous side, providing money and housing to the poor in his hometown of Medellin. He owned many properties, which he bought using the money he earned from his nefarious activities. Despite growing up in a middle-class family, he earned a name for himself, although not a good one, and was ranked as the 7th richest man in the world in 1989. During the peak of his power, Escobar was moving tons of illegal drugs worldwide, ordering political assassinations, causing gang wars, and making ties deep within the Colombian government. Despite all of this, he died in a gang shootout, but even during his death he was estimated to have around $30 billion, and most of his blood-soaked money was spent making and buying insane mansions. Without further ado, let's jump into the video. If you were wondering how he was making so much money, he was moving around 15 tons of cocaine into the United States every day, and was making about $810 a second. Suffice it to say, he had a lot of money in hand and obviously wasn't going to put that money in the bank. So what does he do instead? He buys lavish bungalows and invests in real estate. Amongst his properties, he owned an especially one called La Manuela, which according to Pablo, he had acquired legitimately. Located in Envigado, Colombia, the ranch was a sprawling estate of over 2,000 acres, with several luxury homes, private zoo, and a bullfighting arena. La Manuela symbolized Escobar's immense wealth and power, and was his favorite place to entertain guests. Escobar purchased the ranch in 1978 with money from his drug trafficking activities. He named it La Manuela in honor of his daughter Manuela, born in 1984. Escobar was known to throw extravagant parties at the ranch, attended by prominent politicians, celebrities, and other influential figures. Escobar kept several exotic animals at La Manuela, including elephants, hippos, giraffes, and tigers. He also had a private bullfighting arena, where he would host bullfights and other events. In addition, the ranch was home to Escobar's private airstrip, where he received shipments of drugs from Colombia and other countries. Escobar lived at La Manuela until 1993, when he was killed in a shootout with Colombian police. After his death, the ranch was abandoned and eventually taken over by the Colombian government. After Escobar's death, the fate of La Manuela was uncertain. The government seized it and declared it a national monument, but it was never open to the public. Instead, the estate was left abandoned and forgotten. The grounds were overgrown with weeds, and the house was left to rot. For years, La Manuela was a symbol of the violence and chaos that Escobar had brought to Colombia, but it has become a source of history, culture, and education in recent years. The Colombian government has taken steps to preserve La Manuela and its history. In 2015, the government opened the site to the public, allowing visitors to explore the grounds and learn more about Escobar's life. The mansion has been restored and opened to the public as a museum. Finca La Manuela is now a tourist attraction, but was Pablo's second favorite home. The main house is a 2-story, 10,000 square foot mansion built in the Spanish colonial style. The house's first floor consists of a living room, a dining room, and a kitchen, while the second floor includes 7 bedrooms, each with its own bathroom. The house also features several terraces, balconies, and patios, offering spectacular views of the surrounding countryside. The grounds of La Manuela also include several additional buildings. There are several guest houses, which were often used to accommodate Escobar's guests. The estate also has a large swimming pool, a stable for Escobar's horses, and several gardens. The gardens are notable for the variety of exotic plants Escobar had imported worldwide. La Manuela was the site of many of Escobar's extravagant parties, often attended by Colombia's elite. Escobar would often hold elaborate dinners, complete with fireworks and live music. Escobar also maintained a large staff at La Manuela, which included chefs, maids, and gardeners. Though La Manuela was seen by many as a symbol of Escobar's opulence and extravagance, it was also a place of refuge for him and his family. After Escobar fell from power, he and his family were forced to flee their homes in Medellin and take refuge at La Manuela. The estate was also used as a site to hide some of Escobar's ill-gotten wealth. In addition to its luxurious amenities, La Manuela was also a fortified compound. Escobar had constructed a series of underground tunnels and bunkers beneath the estate, which allowed him to escape from authorities if necessary. The estate was also equipped with an extensive security system, which included armed guards, surveillance cameras, and even an electric fence. Although La Manuela symbolized Escobar's power and wealth, it was also controversial. Many of Escobar's victims accused the estate of being a front for his criminal activities, and it was often raided by law enforcement agents. After Escobar died in 1993, the estate was seized by the Colombian government and eventually demolished. Today, La Manuela remains an important part of Pablo Escobar's legacy. Although the estate is gone, its memory lives on in the stories and legends associated with it. The estate is also remembered by many of Escobar's victims, who still remember the violence and terror that Escobar brought to their lives. La Manuela may be gone, but its memory will never be forgotten. Escobar's family began a legal dispute with the Colombian government over the property after he was shot and killed by Colombian police in 1993. Due to the government's success, the Puerto Triunfo municipality now oversees the neglected property. The majority of the animals were determined to be donated to Colombian and other zoos because maintaining the zoo and the animals would have been too expensive for the government. An area of the estate has dinosaur statues made out of bones, as well as prehistoric animal statues that kids can climb and play on, such as the mammoth, as well as a big hand sculpture and decommissioned military vehicles. Ownership of the property had changed by November 2006. In 2014, a private firm that had rented the property was running an African theme park in the vein of Jurassic Park. A water park, a guided safari experience, aquariums, and a reproduction of the caves in Colombia's Cueva de los Guancharos National Park are all included in Parque Temático Hacienda Nápoles. A day pass to the park cost 42,000 pesos, about $15 US, in December 2018. While still open to the public, the Escobar Museum, his collection of destroyed private cars, and his home's abandoned ruins are said to have collapsed in February 2015. In a private menagerie of Hacienda Nápoles, Escobar kept 4 hippos. After Escobar's death, it was decided that they would be too difficult to take and relocate, so they were left on the unattended estate. By 2007, 16 animals were roaming the area looking for food in the neighboring Magdalena River. They were the subject of a Cocaine Hippos documentary on the National Geographic Channel. Although there is no clear plan for what will happen to the animals, an article in a Yale student magazine indicated that local environmentalists are fighting to safeguard them. Another article on the hippos was published by National Geographic in 2018. It found that while there was disagreement among environmentalists as to whether they had a positive or negative impact, conservationists and locals, especially those working in the tourism sector, were largely in favor of their continued presence. Scientists suggested euthanizing the approximately 100 hippos in January 2021, since they had spread out across the Magdalena River basin. To stop continued reproduction, some scientists have advised castrating the male hippos. The Colombian government determined that hippos would be classified as invasive in February 2022. On March 25, 2022, the hippo was formally included on the list of invasive alien species. In 8 years, the population is expected to increase to 400 from its current 130. However, a control strategy has yet to be established. Besides La Manuela, Escobar had many other properties that have now been turned into luxury restaurants and hotels. According to Jam Press, Escobar allegedly hid from law enforcement on this estate in Riviera Maya, Mexico, which is located along the Caribbean coast. When the Mexican government planned to develop the now famous town of Tulum as a tourist attraction in the 1970s, Escobar saw an opportunity to purchase one of the most prestigious homes there. Due to its isolated off-grid position, Casa Malca, it is believed that Pablo Escobar sneaked away there to elude authorities. The house was abandoned after he was apprehended and executed. Leo Malca, an art collector, found the home nearly 10 years after the man's passing and decided to buy it and transform it over 2 years into an artistic hotel. As of right now, Casa Malca has 71 boutique apartments and rooms. According to the hotel's website, antiques are used throughout the enormous 193,750 square foot property, which has 590 feet of beachfront. As you approach the estate, you can see trunk-lined walls and other artworks and installations. The property features Persian rugs, paintings, literature, and furnishings for a one-of-a-kind experience. 2 swinging chairs and a set of white drapes created from vintage wedding gowns are placed in the foyer. High-rise ceilings and concrete walls with patterned floors are among the features. The bedrooms have panoramic windows that provide views of the entire coastline. Escobar most likely stayed in the main suite, with black walls and floors, a waterfall shower, and dual sinks. There are also 2 pools, 3 restaurants, 2 bars, and an underground adult-only grotto. The pom-poms surrounding each room provide the most solitude along the exclusive beach, frequently frequented by A-list celebrities. Did you enjoy this video? Then drop us a like and don't forget to subscribe for more interesting videos. But before you go, comment below what you think about Pablo Escobar's many luxurious properties.